Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, shipping ports reopen as the dock workers' strike is suspended. Back to work. Dock workers reaching a tentative agreement to suspend the strike that threatened to cost the U.S. economy $4 billion a day and cause major supply chain issues. What it means for consumers and businesses.
3 former Memphis police officers found guilty in the brutal beating of Tyre Nichols, but not convicted of the most serious charges. The reaction from the Nichols family this morning.
Staggering toll. The number of people killed by Hurricane Helene still rising as President Biden surveys the damage, with the National Guard and volunteers working around the clock to deliver aid.
Republican Liz Cheney crosses party lines, campaigning with Vice President Harris.
I tell you, I have never voted for a Democrat, but this year I am proudly casting my vote for Vice President Kamala Harris.
Arguing former President Trump is a danger to democracy as Trump repeats false assertions about the 2020 election.
New development in the Menendez brothers' murders. Could Lyle and Eric be resentenced after they've served nearly 30 years of a life sentence for killing their parents?
Heartwarming reunion. After a dramatic rescue at sea, the cruise ship doctor and the young boy she helped save tell their story for the first time only on GMA.
Uber for Air, an exclusive look at the electric air taxis coming to a city near you. How much time could they save you? And when will they take flight?
Miracle Mets.
Out of here! It's out of here!
New York with an incredible 9th inning comeback to stun the Brewers and move on to the next round.
And we'll rise up.
And Team GMA is live on the ground in the hurricane disaster zone. The everyday heroes racing in to help others. From these young Girl Scouts pitching in to help literally coming from above.
This is insane.
This morning, how you can get involved right from home. We are kicking off 5 days of coverage and relief, plus the incredible stories you haven't heard. It's a morning of Southeast Strong.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
That song is so inspiring on a Friday morning. It's a big Friday morning for us. We're kicking off 5 days of hurricane relief. It's been just over a week since Helene made landfall in Florida. The death toll now over 200. The impact from this storm will be felt in these communities for years.
It's remarkable to see the American spirit in action. The everyday heroes going above and beyond to help their neighbors in the wake of Helene. We are starting in North Carolina this morning, and our team is there, including Will Reed. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Michael. This morning we are highlighting the heroes, people from local communities and from around the country who are stepping up and showing up. It's Southeast Strong, help after Helene. Guys.
Southeast Strong, you said it, Will, and the devastation there is so profound, but so is the humanity that we are seeing, and you can help the people of the American Southeast. We will have more on that just ahead.
We're going to begin, though, with that breaking news overnight. The dock workers strike. The union has reached a deal to suspend the walkout until January 15th without time to renegotiate a new contract. Elizabeth Schulze starts us off from Bayonne, New Jersey. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, George. Ports like this all along the East and Gulf Coast are back up and running after they shut down for 3 days during that massive dock worker strike. The union and the shipping industry group reaching a tentative agreement to suspend the strike until January 15th. Sources familiar with the negotiations tell us that wages will go up by 62% in this new 6-year contract. That is not as much as the union wanted, but a lot more than shipping companies originally offered. In dollar amounts, base pay for a top dock worker will go from $39 an hour to $63, and that's about $131,000 per year. Many dock workers earn more than that after bonuses and overtime. President Biden is applauding this agreement. We're told he called the union's leader, Harold Daggett, this week to express support for the workers. Both sides will now have until January to negotiate other sticking points like protections against the use of automated machines, but cargo will start to be loaded off and on all of those ships were piling up. This is welcome relief for consumers and businesses who escape the threat of delayed shipping times and higher prices during the holidays. Michael.
Yeah, it's good news for all of us there, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for that. And now to the verdict in the fatal beating of Tyre Nichols. 3 former Memphis police officers found guilty but not convicted of the most serious charges. Stephanie Ramos is in Memphis with the story and the reaction. Good morning, Stephanie.
Michael, good morning. The verdict in this federal trial comes almost 2 years after the death of Tyre Nichols. City cameras capturing the beating he endured at the hands of police. Those same officers are now in police custody.
Justice for Tyre!
Justice for Tyre!
This morning, 3 former Memphis police officers found guilty in the brutal beating of Tyre Nichols last year during a traffic stop.
We're just so very proud that all of them are going to jail today.
Former officers Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith were all convicted of witness tampering related to the cover-up of the beating, but Bean and Smith were acquitted of civil rights charges. Haley was acquitted of violating Nichols' civil rights causing death, but convicted of the lesser charge of violating his civil rights causing bodily injury. He was also convicted on a conspiracy to witness tamper charge that the others were acquitted of.
The jury found all of them in some way participated in a crime and that Tyre Nichols' death won't go unaccounted for.
During the nearly month-long federal trial, 2 other officers taking the stand and testifying against their fellow squad members. Desmond Mills, seen here on police body camera video, along with Emmett Martin, had previously pled guilty to federal charges. Martin testified Nichols posed no threat when he was pulled over.
Damn, I didn't do anything.
The officers kicked, punched, tased, and pepper sprayed Nichols, who at one point begged for his life, crying out for his mother, who lived just 1 block away.
We wanted all 4, convictions on them, guilties, but we got the 1, so it's good.
Sentencing is scheduled for January. The former officers face up to 20 to 30 years in prison. All 5 of them are also facing additional state charges, including second-degree murder. Rebecca.
All right, Stephanie, thank you. We turn now to the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Rescue efforts are ongoing a week after the deadliest U.S. storm since Katrina, with Americans still stranded or missing, cut off from communication, food, and medicine. The death toll has climbed to at least 215 people across the Southeast. Morgan Norwood is in Swannanoa, North Carolina. Good morning, Morgan.
Rebecca, good morning. So many across this region still reeling this morning. This is hard-hit Swannanoa. It's a river town just outside of Asheville, and you can see right behind me these 3 homes essentially smashed together. The foundation for one of them right here. And let's take you to the drone because the devastation from above even more clear. Piles and piles of debris, cars and trucks piling on top of one another. This morning, the Buncombe County Sheriff says 200 people, more than that, still unaccounted for. And there's a desperate search and rescue.
This morning, Helene's already staggering death toll climbing once again. At least 215 people killed since the storm made landfall last Thursday in Florida. President Biden surveying the damage there, getting an aerial tour of the destruction left behind. In North Carolina, the desperate search and rescue efforts continue, and resources scarce as many remain without power and water.
We know that this is going to have to be a sustained, long-term assistance.
In Asheville, the North Carolina National Guard working nonstop to deliver supplies to residents.
These guardsmen have been working round the clock to help get aid into the disaster zone, but with so many roads closed, there's only so far they can go. That's why 1,000 active duty troops called in to help get it done.
Outside of Asheville and Swannanoa, where roads are blocked by debris or gone, we found volunteers using pack mules to climb up mountains.
Thank you guys for clearing the path. These guys are pretty special. Just the fact that they're already trained made everything easy. They're able to carry 150 pounds each to get supplies.
Everybody's lost everything. Families lost lives, and they didn't have to.
Authorities launching an investigation into Impact Plastics, where employees like Zaanna Atkins say they weren't allowed to leave their shift until it was too late. 2 employees are confirmed dead and 4 remain missing.
One of the employees that they're still looking for I worked with her right across from me every day.
Atkins says she began getting warnings on her phone around 8:45 a.m., but they weren't told they could go home until noon.
I want people to know that we wouldn't even be in this situation if the higher ups at Impact Plastics would have just let us all go home or not even had us work that day.
Impact Plastics saying in a statement, at no time were employees told that they would be fired if they left the facility.
And back here in western North Carolina, of course, that search still ongoing. If you take a look right behind me on that car, you can see that X. That indicates that authorities have cleared that vehicle, but certainly markings like that you're going to find on cars, businesses, homes all across this region. Rebecca?
Such difficult efforts underway. Okay, Morgan, thank you for being there from the start for us. And we have so much more from the storm zone this morning as we kick off our coverage of Southeast Strong with the stories of everyday Americans helping each other and how you can help too. George?
Okay, Rebecca, thank you. We're going to get the latest now in the race for the White House. Kamala Harris in Wisconsin with Republican Liz Cheney, who's endorsed her because of President Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election, as Trump repeated false claims about that election in Michigan. Mary Bruce is in Milwaukee. Good morning, Mary.
George, good morning. And this was an astonishing sight and a powerful reminder of the difficult choice that many Republicans are facing. Liz Cheney out on the trail with the Democratic nominee. Now, she did note how unusual this pairing is, but argued the stakes are simply too high for disillusioned Republicans to sit this one out, saying our democracy is on the line. Overnight, Liz Cheney, the most prominent conservative to cross party lines in this race, standing shoulder to shoulder with Kamala Harris on a mission to convince her fellow Republicans to put country over party.
I have never voted for a Democrat, but this year I am proudly casting my vote for Vice President Kamala Harris.
The daughter of Vice President Dick Cheney, she was once the third highest-ranking House Republican, going on to chair the January 6th committee, arguing Trump is a danger to democracy.
Our republic faces a threat unlike any we have faced before. A former president who attempted to stay in power by unraveling the foundations of our republic.
But on the trail in Michigan, Trump repeated false assertions about the 2020 election and a series of other subjects. Harris pointing to Trump's refusal to accept the truth, calling it disqualifying.
And the tragic truth that we are facing in this election for President of the United States is that there is actually an honest question about whether one of the candidates will uphold the oath to the Constitution of the United States.
Harris warning Trump tried to subvert the Constitution to stay in power and saying he will try to do it again. And Harris receiving another notable endorsement, Bruce Springsteen offering his support with a similar warning, saying, quote, Trump doesn't understand what it means to be deeply American. And now next week, Harris's perhaps most influential surrogate will be hitting the trail, Barack Obama, planning to blitz the battlegrounds in these final few weeks. And George, he'll be out there starting next Thursday in Must-Win, Pennsylvania.
Okay, Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. We're going to go overseas now to the Middle East. Israel intensified its airstrikes in Lebanon as it threatened to retaliate against Iran for the missile barrage earlier this week. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pano is on the scene in Beirut, where Israeli strikes have rocked part of the city. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. That's a very good description. Rocked the city. I mean, the bombing of Beirut and the south of the country is frankly incessant right now. All day and all night, Israel attacking, pummeling the country. I mean, around 2,000 people have been killed and more than 1 million have been displaced. And the bombardment only seems to increase. The suffering for the people here in the country just seems to have no end.
This morning, mass destruction in Lebanon after 12 straight days of bombing from Israel. Some of the biggest strikes here in Beirut overnight. Israel claiming it hit dozens of Hezbollah targets in the city, including a commander, as it readies its response to that Iranian missile barrage. Nearly 30 on-duty medics in Lebanon have been killed in the past day alone.
Around 1 a.m. in the morning, without any warning from Israel, this health centre in the middle of Beirut was struck. It is affiliated to Hezbollah, but there's no evidence that there was a valid military target here.
At least 9 civilians killed in that attack, volunteers and rescue workers, according to local officials. Thousands have been killed by Israel, including women and children. Tragedy striking one American family. Kamal Ahmed Jawad of Dearborn, Michigan, among the dead. His family saying he was killed by an Israeli airstrike in southern Lebanon. Jawad had been volunteering, helping the elderly, disabled and injured. This as the US prepares for Israel's retaliation against Iran. New images showing extensive damage to an Israeli military base in that attack. President Biden revealing to reporters that plans to hit Iranian oil facilities are being discussed.
We're in discussion with that. I think that would be a little, anyway.
And as tensions in the region escalate, the Iranian mission to the UN warning any country that aids Israel will also become legitimate targets. Ayatollah Khamenei leading Friday prayers in Tehran for the first time in 4 years today, saying the missiles launched against Israel was the minimum punishment for the crimes the country has committed, and warning, if necessary, we're prepared to strike the Israeli regime again.
Guys, well, as it's the end of the week, I think it's worth taking stock on what has been a tumultuous few days. What started as a single horrific attack in Israel by Hamas over a year ago has now just grown and grown. We now have attacks here in Beirut against Hezbollah and across Lebanon, attacks next door in Syria, attacks in Yemen, in Gaza, in the West Bank, expected attacks by Israel against Iran, possibly Iraq, and America standing squarely by its side. In other words, this has truly become a regional conflict. One last thing, there are growing fears that gas prices could spike if Israel hits Iranian oil depots. This could be the October surprise the Harris campaign doesn't need. Rebecca.
And Ian, the markets are balancing that concern along with the global supply glut in oil we had coming into this conflict. Okay, Ian, thank you. We turn now to the baseball playoffs, and the Miracle Mets doing it again. Andrew Dymburt is here. He's a Yankees fan.
Oh no!
But we got to say that.
Mets fans.
But he's getting the Mets in this morning. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Rebecca. It's time to start calling them the Miracle Mets, as they wrote another chapter in an improbable season last night. How improbable? Well, back around early June, the Mets' chances of making the playoffs hovered around just 9%, as they were 11 games under 500, a losing record, a really losing record. But after last night, they're not only in, they are moving on in a win-or-go-home Game 3 wildcard showdown in Milwaukee. The Mets went into the ninth inning down 2 runs with just 2 hits for the entire team up until that point, when Pete Alonso, in what could have been his last at-bat ever for the team, smashed a go-ahead home run, propelling the team to a wild card victory and sending fans back in Queens into a Mets mania. There was a watch party at Citi Field after the clincher. The champagne was obviously flowing, but it is not over yet. It's now on to Philadelphia to play the bitter division rival Phillies. Guys, that's going to be a series to watch.
It was 0-2, it's the top of the ninth. I said, I don't want to be frustrated. Turn off the TV.
Oh,
no. Wake up to good messages, though. Pete Alonso, pay that man, Mets.
Well done. And Andrew, I think that was a fair report on your part.
I think so, too. I want a Subway Series. Yankees-Mets World Series. Let's go.
The baseball playoffs continue this weekend, and that is not all. You can tune into the WNBA playoffs tonight. Game 3 of the semifinals tip off at 7:30 p.m. between Minnesota and Connecticut, followed by New York taking on Las Vegas. All action is on ESPN2.
That's going to be great. And coming up, we have an ABC News exclusive with the boy rescued at sea after suffering a medical emergency, reunited with the cruise ship doctor who helped save his life.
And a new development in the Menendez brothers' murders. Could Lyle and Eric be resentenced after serving more than 30 years in prison?
Plus, could air taxis be the future of city travel? How it works, how much it would cost, whether Michael would use one.
We'll be right back on this Friday morning, so you stay right there. Welcome back to GMA. You're looking live, and that is North Carolina, one of the places hardest hit by Hurricane Helene. But the people there are Southeast strong, and we are on the ground there all morning meeting the heroes who are helping the community recover and sharing how you can help too. That's all coming up.
Yeah, we're going to be celebrating them all morning long, getting help to people in need. We're going to turn now to the new development in one of the nation's most notorious murder cases. The Los Angeles District Attorney is considering whether Lyle and Eric Menendez should be resentenced after serving more than 30 years for the murders of their parents. Kana Whitworth has the latest. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, George, good morning to you. Amid a tough re-election bid, LA County DA George Gascon says his office is evaluating new evidence in a case that gripped the nation. And that evidence includes a declaration from another alleged victim who says he was also abused by Eric and Lyle's father. This morning, the Los Angeles District Attorney saying his office is reevaluating one of the most notorious murder cases in American history. George Gascon saying they are reviewing petitions from the infamous Menendez brothers, Lyle and Eric, seeking release from prison or a new trial based on new information.
We're not saying that there was anything wrong with the original trial. We have been given evidence.
Their televised trial captured the nation. 2 young men charged with the brutal 1989 murder of their own parents in Beverly Hills.
What's the problem? Someone killed my parents.
Now the subject of a provocative Netflix series.
I, Joseph Lyle Menendez, am destined for greatness.
They've been behind bars for nearly 35 years, serving life in prison without parole. The brothers testified they were abused by their father, Jose, who threatened their lives, arguing they acted in self-defense. After years of failed appeals, now the Menendez brothers presenting what they say is new evidence, including a letter Eric wrote to a cousin 8 months before the murders, documenting the alleged abuse.
None of this information has been confirmed, but we're here to tell you that we have a moral and an ethical obligation to review what is being presented to us.
The brothers' lawyer, Mark Garagos, speaking to reporters.
Am I optimistic? I'm more than optimistic. I think they should be out. I think they should be out yesterday.
Well, the petition for resentencing has been under review for more than a year. Kim Kardashian speaking out as an inmate advocate, writing, "We owe it to the 2 little boys who lost their childhood." The next hearing is in November, and you guys, overnight, Eric's wife Tammy saying she hopes that brings the resolution they've been wishing for. Guys.
So many twists here and so much attention on this story. Okay, Kana, thank you. We turn now to the emotional reunion after a rescue at sea. The cruise ship doctor and the young boy she helped save speaking for the first time since that rescue in May. Victor Akendo has the exclusive. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Rebecca. We reported on this story when it first happened. That young boy, Aiden, was on that cruise with his mom, dad, and sister when all of a sudden this family vacation turned into a race to save his life.
Dangling from that Air Force rescue helicopter, 12-year-old Aiden Parker airlifted from this Carnival cruise ship in May after the ship's senior physician and her team discovered an urgent, life-threatening condition in his abdomen, making the quick decision to get him and his mom to more urgent care, saving his life.
Okay, we're all here. Hi.
Now, in an exclusive reunion, family and doctor speaking for the first time since that high seas rescue 5 months ago.
You look different. Yeah. I bet. Definitely in way better shape than before. Yeah.
Dr. Stephanie Weiss connecting while on board another Carnival cruise on duty as a real-life Dr. Odyssey.
You're gonna be okay.
Weiss and her team discovering a perforation in Aiden's intestines.
It can eventually end your life. It is one of the cases that you need to get off the ship as soon as possible.
I knew how serious it was, and obviously I was, scared to death.
I just felt extremely horrible.
The ship was about 400 miles offshore, so remote, choppers had to conduct 3 mid-air refuelings. Aiden asleep throughout most of the rescue.
But the times that I was awake, I was just trying to pay attention to other things, looking at the helicopter and how it works.
After spending a month in the hospital, Aiden is now fully recovered and rebuilding his strength. Dr. Weiss wiping away tears, hearing how well he's doing.
I just wanted to say thank you for helping me and making me feel better. It was a pleasure. I feel like that I probably wouldn't still be here if you didn't help me. Thank you for that. Come visit me in the medical center, just saying hi, nothing else, okay? Aiden, Mom, all my love.
Aiden's doctors are still trying to determine what caused the perforation, but this was a total team effort. So many people coming together to make sure this vacation would not be Aiden's last. Guys?
Yeah, we love it when a plan comes together for the good of that young man. Thank you so much for that, Victor. Now to an ABC News exclusive on what could be the future of city travel, air taxis, as easy as getting an Uber. Trevor Ault checked it out for us. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Michael. So imagine you land at the airport and instead of calling a cab, you hop in one of these to get home. This is an electric air taxi from Joby, and they say this can do just about everything that a helicopter can in flight, except it's believed to be safer, faster, quieter, more energy efficient, and hopefully soon as accessible and affordable to everyday Americans as an Uber.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
It's been a fixture of futuristic science fiction.
Hey, Judy, let's blast out.
But now a new transportation reality may be knocking on the door.
We're just at the dawning moments of a transportation revolution, which is going to take us into the skies for our daily mobility.
This is the electric air taxi from Joby, designed with commuting in mind. The plan is for customers to be able to book one the same way you'd book an Uber, skip the traffic, and fly. What would be a 49-minute taxi ride from Manhattan to JFK Airport, instead just 7 minutes.
These are built for up to 4 passengers with a range of 100 miles going 200 miles per hour. And the way they're manufactured, they're actually 100 times quieter than a helicopter. What's the difference between this and a helicopter?
It's dramatically safer. Because it has 6 propellers, and each propeller is driven by a separate motor, by a separate inverter, by a separate battery pack, each layer on layer of redundancy.
Jobin Bevard is founder and CEO, and he let me take a look inside.
Flying this is incredibly intuitive.
The air taxis will be manned by commercial pilots, and with a vertical takeoff, they could land on rooftops or parking garages, and the electric batteries take just 30 minutes for a full charge, hopefully allowing for cheaper flight costs.
We set out when we founded the company to build an aircraft that could provide air taxi service that was comparable in price to ground-based taxis. So planning to launch it at the price of an Uber Black and drive that down to the cost of an Uber X over time.
And there is some competition in the field. Other companies like Archer Aviation are also racing into the air taxi space.
I think everybody has seen the rich and famous use helicopters. And the reason they do that is because it's convenient. This is the first time we're able to offer a product that's very safe, that is extremely convenient, but also can be affordable to the average person.
These aircraft do still require extensive safety testing before the federal government signs off on commercial flights. But the FAA administrator says that's already well underway, and certification is likely coming faster than we think.
There's still some testing that has to be done, but you could see these as soon as next year.
And several major airlines have already partnered with air taxi companies to shuttle people to and from airports. Joby has partnered with Delta. United Airlines has already ordered $1 billion worth of air taxis. And these will first launch in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. But maybe the most stunning thing that we heard was from the FAA administrator, not a company spokesperson, who compared this technology to the automobile and the cell phone, and that they think eventually this will be everywhere, guys.
Wow. Incredible.
Pull into the garage. You got yourself a little flight.
Nice.
Yeah, it's way personalized. All right, that's awesome. I kind of like that. Southeast Strong, and look at how Americans from all across the country are pitching in to help 1 week after Hurricane Helene. We'll revisit one of the hardest hit communities, Asheville, North Carolina, with more on the volunteer effort. Hey, Will.
Hey there, Michael. So much of this last week has been devastating for the people here and from around the Southeast, but help has come from above, literally, and on the ground and from all corners of the country. Everyday heroes showing the best possibilities of human beings after the storm.
From devastation, heroes emerge. People doing anything and everything to help others in need.
When something like this happens, it doesn't matter how small the gesture is. You help where you can, when you can, however you can.
Help literally coming from above. Helicopters dropping food and supplies to people stranded by washed out roads or damaged bridges. This team saving a premature baby and an 87-year-old woman whose oxygen was running low.
Probably 50 or 60 helicopters a day. They're all privately owned, and everybody, not just us, but everybody is doing this same mission.
When we are delivering supplies to fire stations or to individuals, I mean, that's what needs to be done. And
Starlink's the biggest thing we need right now. These people out in the mountains, there's no way for them to communicate.
Back on the ground in Asheville, North Carolina, Pastors Matthew and Michelle Coleman have set up at the Asheville Dream Center, handing out donations to the community. Asked why they're helping.
Have to. This is so, there's nowhere else that we can be right now.
Brandy Clarkson got her power back before anyone else in her Irmo, South Carolina community, so she's opened her home for phone charging and food, with others now chipping in with donations to make her porch a refuge.
I just planted the seed and they grew it. Until everyone has power back, there'll be snacks and fruit and drinks on my porch and plugs and Wi-Fi.
And that group of nurses traveling in from all corners of the country to relieve exhausted medical professionals working around the clock since Helene made landfall. Jennifer Beecham came from Tennessee, working with HCA Healthcare's Mission Hospital.
It's a great feeling because I would want someone to do that for me. And if my hospital was in that situation, I wouldn't think twice to know that my fellow brothers and sisters at HCA would be right there for us as well.
And proving you're never too young to give back, Girl Scout Troop 10242 in Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, donated baby supplies to be distributed in some of the hardest hit areas.
Heroes everywhere, including here on the ground in Asheville. This is the Denny's Mobile Relief Diner. It just opened up in the last few seconds. People are driving up right here. It goes around all the way. In there is a full working kitchen. They're handing out hot, free meals to anyone in need. Local residents of the community are coming up here, grabbing, what do we have here, guys? They've got pancakes and sausages, and they're doing such great work. Thank you for everything. I'm gonna let you get back to helping people out. But this is what people are doing. They are coming here and helping, and you can too, guys.
It is such an amazing thing to see, Will. Thank you for sharing that with us. And the hot meal after that devastation, the Girl Scouts, the nurses, everyday heroes. So good to see. And we have more Southeast Strong coming up. How a friend of GMA is helping his neighbors. Stay with us.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Back to work. Dock workers reach a tentative agreement to suspend the strike that threatened to cost the U.S. economy $4 billion a day and cause major supply chain issues. What it means for consumers and businesses.
Driving for change. Meet Raja Karuth, NASCAR's youngest black driver. The 22-year-old first inspired by the movie Cars, now racing towards history.
Sweet surprise. For a ray of sunshine, meet the local ice cream truck owner, melting hearts and helping her community.
And rising up to help. The locals on the front lines, real-life superheroes of the Southeast.
You want some water as well?
It's good for you.
Hand-to-hand, box after box, the volunteers hand out essentials, from food to clean water to diapers. And organizations like Operation Airdrop.
This is insane.
And Manna Food Bank provide a lifeline to the hardest hit areas.
The response has been amazing. It's a resilient community.
This morning, how you can get involved and help the southeastern U.S. recover and rebuild. 5 days of help all starts right now. We are Southeast Strong as we say, good morning, America.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA.
Good morning, America. We are Southeast Strong this morning. You're looking live at Asheville, North Carolina, where the Denny's Mobile Relief Diner just opened to serve breakfast for the people there, many of whom have been without power or water since Hurricane Helene devastated the area. Will Reeve is there on the ground for us.
It is great to see him this morning pitching in, and all the people who are pitching in, the heroes, the everyday people helping to get that community back on its feet. And we'll have much more on them coming up a little later.
Coming up, we're going to start with the top stories breaking at 8 right now. Including that breaking news overnight on the dock workers strike, the union has reached a deal to suspend the walkout until January 15th to allow time to negotiate a new contract. Elizabeth Schulze is in Bayonne, New Jersey with the details. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Hey, George, ports like these that bring in more than half of the nation's imports are now back up and running after they were at a standstill for 3 days. This tentative agreement between the union and the shipping industry group will suspend the dock worker strike and keep negotiations going until January 15th. Sources familiar with these negotiations tell us that wages will go up by 62% over the new 6-year contract. It's not as much as the union wanted, but a lot more than the shipping companies had originally offered. So base pay for a top dock worker will go from $39 to $63 an hour. This deal means that all of those shipments of fresh fruit, clothes, car parts, medicine should soon be off of container ships and onto trucks to be delivered. That is a win for consumers and businesses. We shouldn't expect to see any major shipping delays or higher prices because of this strike during the holiday shopping season. Michael.
All right, Elizabeth, that's going to make everybody happy with that news. Thank you so much for that. We're going to turn now to the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Rescue efforts are ongoing with many still stranded or missing, cut off from communication, food, and medicine. The death toll has climbed to at least 215 people across the Southeast. Morgan Norwood is in North Carolina for us. Good morning again, Morgan.
Hey, good morning to you, Michael. We are in Swannanoa, a small river town just outside of Asheville, and the devastation is just sprawling. Take a look from the drone. We're looking at mountains, piles and piles of debris, cars, homes lifted off of their foundation by those raging floodwaters this morning. The staggering death toll rising once again, at least 215 people killed from the storm. The search and rescue ongoing with more than 200 unaccounted for right here in Buncombe County, and the race to relief is ramping up. Troops delivering water, food, supplies. Meanwhile, volunteers using pack mules to get aid into hard-to-reach areas. This morning, more than 800,000 still without power across the region, and authorities honing in on those isolated areas as they continue to search. Rebecca?
All right, Morgan, thank you. We turn now to new allegations against country star Garth Brooks. A lawsuit by a makeup artist alleges he sexually assaulted her and subjected her to unwanted advances on multiple occasions. Ariel Reshef has the story. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Rebecca. In the complaint filed Thursday in California, the woman only identified as Jane Roe, alleging that Garth Brooks sexually harassed her and raped her in 2019, then tried to silence her from speaking out. The lawsuit claims Brooks cornered her in a hotel room and sexually assaulted her during a work trip to Los Angeles for a Grammy tribute performance. The woman says that she was initially hired to work with Brooks's wife, singer Trisha Yearwood, in 1999. Now, her attorneys tell ABC News the complaint filed today demonstrates that sexual predators exist not only in corporate America, Hollywood, and in the rap and rock and roll industries, but also in the world of country music, adding, "We are confident that Brooks will be held accountable for his actions." Now, Garth Brooks strongly refuting these allegations, telling ABC News he filed a new lawsuit against the woman in Mississippi nearly a month ago to speak out against extortion and defamation of character, saying, "We filed it anonymously for the sake of families on both sides," continuing to say, "I trust the system, I do not fear the truth, and I am not the man that they have painted me to be." The case is now awaiting acceptance by the clerk of court. Guys.
All right, Ariel, thank you for that story this morning. Coming up in our GMA morning menu, with stores, supply lines, and food banks decimated by Hurricane Helene, the pressing need for food in the storm zone, we meet people who are helping.
And our friend Yassine T-Rowe is one of the people helping the community right now. He's hitting the road to get food and supplies where they are needed. We're going to check in with him.
Also ahead, we meet NASCAR's youngest black driver, how 22-year-old Rajah Caruth is driving for diversity. And we're going to go to Bensonhurst, Brooklyn for a block party. And DeMarco is geared up to surprise Maria, a local ice cream truck driver who melts the hearts of everyone in her community. That is all coming up right here on GMA.
And we are back with Southeast Strong in the wake of Hurricane Helene, the deadliest storm to hit the U.S. since Hurricane Katrina. The need for food is growing exponentially. Will Reed has been live in the storm zone for us all morning. He joins us again from Asheville, North Carolina. Good morning, Will.
Hey, George, good morning. The communities impacted by Helene are in need of many things: running water and electricity in many places, and basic everyday supplies. And food banks have been facing a major strain. People have been stepping up to help.
Across the Southeast.
You want some water as well?
People helping people.
It's nice. If you can't get anything, it's just awesome. Like, you don't even have drinking water.
Hand to hand, box to box, volunteers handing out necessary supplies, from food and clean water to diapers that so many families in this region now need.
Everybody's working to help somebody else. And as a Christian, I've been taught, put your feet in action, and this is a good way to do it.
In places like Asheville, North Carolina, the flooding destroying Mana Food Bank's facility, which makes organizations like Operation Airdrop,
this is insane,
Global Empowerment Mission,
It's good for you,
and World Central Kitchen all the more essential right now. Mana Food Bank powering through, providing the hope many in these hard-hit communities sorely need.
The response has been amazing. It's a resilient community. Everybody is coming together to really support one another. And as you're standing in that line and you're handing out those donations to the folks in need, it's heartbreaking to hear their stories and to hear where they're coming from. And they are just so thankful for the support.
People are just inherently good, including Brent Wyatt. Come here, please, Brent.
Yes.
You're from Loving Food Resources, a food pantry. You've been doing great work, but first, are you from here?
Yes, I'm a native of Western North Carolina.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You're okay?
Yes.
And you're giving back?
Yes.
What is the work that Loving Food Pantry does?
We provide food and personal care items to people living with HIV and also people in in-home hospice care. But now we are serving the broader community.
So you jumped in. What have you noticed is the greatest need in this past week since the storm?
Water.
Water. Usable water for drinking, for anything else?
For drinking, cooking, water that can be used to flush commodes.
Yeah. You're a native Western North Carolinian,
yes.
And the people here have been through so much, and yet their spirit is so strong.
Yes.
What do you want the world to know about your home and the people here?
We are very resilient. We band together, and we will get through this.
Certainly will, because of people like you who are doing what you do, and these folks here lining up, handing out pancakes and sausage. There is a great need for so many things here, and people like Brent are easing that burden just a little bit, guys.
They are making a huge difference. Okay, well, thank you so much. We can learn more about some of the organizations that we're highlighting and are giving back to those in the Southeast. You can find out about all of that on our website. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. And now to the story of one Tennessee man who is making a difference, stepping up to deliver food and supply to his neighbors and communities ravaged by Hurricane Helene.
So, hi, everyone.
It's one man's mission to spread the love. After catastrophic flooding from Hurricane Helene devastated cities throughout eastern Tennessee, Yassine Toureau, friend of GMA and owner of Yassine's Falafel House.
Here is one of the trucks at one of our locations, and it's full.
Jumping in to mobilize his Knoxville community to support nearby cities in need.
We act as a family, and we keep building the love. Hey, we are here in Greenville.
Yassine delivering food and essentials to a soup kitchen in Greenville.
And here is your generosity. See what you did. And we are here now at the Erwin Care Center.
At each stop,
what's your name, sir?
I'm Landon.
Yassine connecting with the locals to bring more than just vital aid.
So, and here is Shana.
Thank you so much.
So,
it's so wonderful.
She was almost crying. She's tired.
Bringing hope, one hot meal at a time.
One community, one family.
Joining us now live from the Farmer's Daughter restaurant in Erwin, Tennessee with more on the relief effort there is Yassine Toureau. Yassine, thank you so much for joining us. You're a friend of GMA, and we know you've raised more than $30,000 to provide food to people recovering from Helene. But what has been the biggest challenge for you in getting food to these communities?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, America. We are here in Truckee, Tennessee. The big challenge we receive, like I just voiced one today, is all the bridges is washing out. But so it's very hard to get here, and that's one of the reasons the Farmer Daughter restaurant in Truckee, Tennessee, they wasn't able to receive food after 22 years of serving, and they wasn't able to help their community. They really have the love. So the challenge right now is how we get in the area most needed.
Well, you know what? We're so happy that you are there. Just seeing you're providing very, very needed relief and services to everyone in that community. And your smile on your face and your energy, we appreciate you and we thank you so much.
Actually, just like I have a very fast friend here is Rachel. She just want to say good morning. Her dream. She's the owner of the Farmer Daughter restaurant, and she just want to say good morning, America. everyone.
Good morning, America. We love.
Well, we love you too. Good morning to all
Thank
of you. Good morning, and thank you so much for all the effort that you're putting in to help people down there you're seeing. Thank you both. Have a great morning.
Yes, you know when Yassine is involved, you're going to get that help that you need.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great thing to see. We're going to go back to Asheville now, and Tamara Scott from our ABC station, WTVD. She's been on the ground from the start. You saw her there in the pouring rain and hurricane on Friday, and now she's there with the recovery efforts. Good morning, Tamara.
Hey, good morning, Rebecca. Yeah, I was here in Asheville 1 week ago when we first started seeing those floodwaters rushing into these small towns. And when you finally got to look at the damage, it can seem like and feel like a little bit that the storm also took the spirit of this area with you. But that is not the case. I'm here this morning at beloved Asheville, where you can see behind me happening so many donations pouring in. These are cases and cases of water. Volunteers working so hard to get these supplies to people who need them the most. They have been boots on the ground since day one, even while their own homes or communities were destroyed. And that's what they were doing before the storm, and it's what they're continuing to do each day. Donations coming in from all over the country. They still need some water, clothes, dog food, cleaning supplies, hygiene products, and more. The spirit of giving is sprinkled all throughout the area. Here is a video of a family and a band of friends who've come to clean out homes in Black Mountain. And this is a nonprofit organization from Mississippi who've come up to provide hot showers and laundry services to families without it. Now, back here at Beloved, they're gearing up for another day to take out these supplies to some of those harder hit areas like Banner Elk, Bee Tree. They're also going to be heading out to Old Fort and Burnsville. So there is a lot happening here, but the spirit is up. It's good. And these people are telling me that they are willing to keep working together, and that's how they're going to build their community back up. Back to you, Rebecca.
Such a need there, and we're so grateful to you, Tamara, and the team there for covering this story from the start.
Now to a young man with the need for speed. 22-year-old Raja Karuth is NASCAR's youngest black driver. Well, his love of racing began at the age of 4. He's overcome so many challenges in realizing his dream, and now hopes to affect real change in the sport he loves.
Raja Karuth's career is moving at lightning speed. At just 22 years old, Karuth is the sport's youngest black driver and only the 3rd black driver in its history to win a National Series race.
Raja Karuth wins it at Las Vegas. First career win.
An accolade previously only held by NASCAR legends Wendell Scott and Bubba Wallace.
To be in the same category as those guys is really special. I've really grown and built a career and a name for myself in this industry. I've seen kind of the impact that I've had.
Let's go. His love of racing began at just 4 years old after watching Disney's Cars.
The rookie sensation came into the season unknown.
I remember watching races and getting toys, and I just kind of took in everything that I could from the sport online. I went to my first race, I was 12. From that point forward, I knew that racing was what I wanted to do.
But even as a young boy, there was something notably missing.
As a child watching NASCAR, there was very few drivers that looked like me. Being a young black man is really evident about the importance of representation because, you know, you look at other forms of sports and entertainment where we have a lot of presence in it. That's not the case in racing.
Before Karuth, the biggest barrier to entry, proximity to an actual racetrack.
It was almost impossible, I think, to get started growing up in DC. I think the nearest racetracks are like over, 50 to 60 plus miles away.
Luckily, he found iRacing, a racing simulator that allowed him to practice and compete virtually to help build a name for himself.
iRacing is a really successful tool, I think, in bridging the diversity gap. It removes a barrier of entry, I think, whether that be inner city kids or people in vastly different places that have no access to racing. It's inexpensive. You just need a pretty simple steering wheel and pedal set and a computer, and that's it.
With that experience, he was able to apply for NASCAR's Drive for Diversity program, a program dedicated to developing aspiring minority and female NASCAR professionals.
Once he got into the program, they identified his talent and just created a pathway for him to actually get into a physical car.
At the age of 17, Karuth was finally able to get behind the wheel of an actual race car. And now 5 years later, he is number 5 in the Craftsman Truck Series.
Raja Karuth as he celebrates
with his father.
Just last week, advancing to round 2 of the playoffs. And tonight, he will be competing at Talladega Super Speedway, hoping to get one step closer to winning his first championship.
From Washington, D.C., Raja Karu.
He's driving not only to win, but to affect change.
I'm driving for diversity so that others behind me can do the same. I think my hope for the future, leave the sport better than it was when I came in.
And Raja is doing all that while pursuing a degree in motorsport management at Winston-Salem State University, graduating in December. Well, he also recently donated a racing simulator to another HBCU, Virginia Union University, to help expose others to the sport. And it's amazing the power of film. A kid watches cars. Then he may sound simple. Get me a steering wheel, some foot pedals, and a computer, and I'm in NASCAR. But you know, you got to have talent too, which he does have.
Yeah. And paying it forward, so great to see.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. And good luck to him. And coming up, it is breakfast time. We're cooking up something savory that's good to eat any time of the day. We'll be right back.
Good morning, America! Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
And Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. That's our Ray of Sunshine block party in Bensonhurst. And DeMarco Morgan is there to honor one woman with a sweet surprise that is coming up. But now let's go to Michael.
All right, George, until then, I am here with Chef Chuck Hughes. He's the co-owner, executive chef. Yes, of Montreal Hotspot Garde Manger. Well, he's got a new cookbook out called Chuck's Home Cooking, Family Favorite Recipes from My Kitchen to Yours. And this morning, he's whipping up a delicious one-pan breakfast. Chuck, good morning to you. Great to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you.
All right, let's get cooking. And we're doing a crowd pleaser.
Yes.
Bread pudding, okay? But not just for breakfast. This could be like for lazy dinner, too.
Lazy dinner, brunch, breakfast, and you know, fun fact, I actually had to write a recipe for this because it could be anything that's in your fridge, any type of bread, anything you have lying around. So we've got ham and cheese, but if you wanted to do mushrooms, chicken if you had from the night before, you could really put...
If you don't have ham or something.
Exactly, you could really put anything in it, but...
The caramelized onions smell good.
So everything starts with caramelized onions. Life in general is better when you caramelize your onions. People agree. A lot of people for the food segments all of a sudden.
I know, because I think they want to eat
there
this
we go.
when you're done with it.
So we've got our
how
bread.
Do we to get started?
This could be like day-old bread, okay? It could be any type of bread, and we're just gonna top it off with our onions.
Easy enough.
You can kind of, you see, like mush it in there if you want. I think that's the culinary term. And just kind of squeeze it in there. We're gonna add some ham. I'll let you do the cheese if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, and like you can mix it in there if you want, but the thing is we're gonna bake this in the oven 30 minutes on 350, and we're gonna cover it so it stays nice and moist. Then we're gonna broil it. So if you put the ingredients and the cheese mixed in there too much, it won't really broil and get nice and.
But when you season it, how do you get that perfect balance?
Well, you know, seasoning is also kind of a personal thing, I find. So I kind of go a little bit lower on the salt because you've got the cheese and the ham that's pretty salty.
Yeah,
so
true.
you want to lay back a little bit, but you still have to have some salt because you want some of that flavor. So we've got some eggs, some salt. I'll just put a touch. Pepper.
A little pepper.
Okay.
What we got?
Wow. Yeah. Pepper, thyme is of the essence, right? So,
yes, it is, always.
Some cream and some milk, and then I'll have you just whisk this up, if you will.
Yeah, I'll whisk.
Is that cool?
Maybe I like to whisk. Yeah,
you got the pipes to whisk here? There we go, look at that.
There we go.
All right, I'm taking over.
Thank you.
Okay,
there we go.
So,
I don't want to get anything on my suit.
There you go. Because I know you picked this up today special.
Just for you in this cooking segment. I want to match the color of the bread pudding.
There you go.
All right.
So, you know, everything's in here. And you just
pour it on top.
Pour it right on top. Look at that.
But you know, bread pudding, it can dry out.
Yes.
Easily. So how do you prevent that?
So, pop it in the oven. Put this right on top. So as it cooks, okay, you've got your foil. Moisture stays in there. It's kind of gonna steam it a little bit, if you will. Then the last 5 minutes, take this off, put it on broil, and voila! I don't know. I don't know who made this, but it looks good.
I tell you right now, we got a lot of people who don't even work here camping out.
Yeah.
They're hungry.
Yeah, people off the streets.
And what I love about your book, your 85 recipes.
85 recipes. Can you believe that I actually came up with 85 recipes?
I can, man. You got the hottest restaurant in Montreal, so why not? But they're great for the home cook. There are some specialty recipes.
Yes.
Where you were covering bagels. So, you know, there's the Montreal bagel, there's the New York bagel, there's the big debate. You know, what's the difference between the two?
I mean, I don't know if everybody at large knows this debate, but it's definitely a debate where I'm from. Okay. And when we come to New York has it all, right?
Yep.
Like,
yeah, we do.
Except the bagels. All right, so you gotta land the plane.
You realize where you're at, right?
Yeah, I know. So
what's the difference?
The difference is, it's really hard to tell. You're gonna have to come and try them, but really, they're a little bit chewier. They're not as dense. They're not as bready. It's kind of a mix between like bread and a pretzel. It's sweet. It's salty. Yeah, I love them. Right. And you have to have them in Montreal. So they come out of the oven, wood-burning oven. They're hot, they're fresh. You have a bite. It's the best. The second you walk out of the store, they're just not as good. So
you got to eat them in the store while they're hot.
Yes. So that's the big thing. These are Montreal bagels made in New York, so we'll see. We'll try.
That's what you call the best of both worlds, my friend. You know what, Chuck? Thank you, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. Bring a lot of energy to the show.
Let me try this.
Home cooking. It is out now. You can get these recipes on our website at goodmorningamerica.com.
Our friend John Quinones, What Would You Do is now about to start its 17th season. Yeah. John is here to tell us all about it. It is kind of crazy. Let's start with the new one. What do you got?
Well, this is the best season ever and the biggest season because we're traveling all over the country, way beyond those diners in New Jersey where we started. And we're looking at all kinds of scenarios. And it reminds you that there's still a lot of work to be done in this country about doing the right thing. We have a clip of where we were, where we've been.
You're looking at some hot button issues like immigration, correct?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, let's take a look.
It's an emotional day at the car wash.
Hey, do either of you know how to say you missed a spot in Spanish?
Okay, yeah, well, come on.
You will?
Come on.
But nothing could have prepared us for this woman.
Ma'am, I don't even speak Spanish. I'm from here.
You speaking English? Oh,
yeah,
you speak English.
I understand what he's saying perfectly. I'm doing the best I can.
I'm calling immigration. This is a joke.
She shows concern for our actor.
You have to clean the car.
No, please don't. Let me. It's not your job, please.
And even offers to clean the car herself.
Why are you trying to help this guy out?
I try to help you because I believe in calma. Bye-bye, God bless you, okay?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm Quinones.
Oh, my God, you been here.
I love that. You didn't even have to say your name. You didn't see she knew exactly what was going on the minute she saw your face.
Just tap her on the shoulder, yeah.
It shows how popular the show is. But what were some of the other responses like?
You know, the best reactions are always from people who have been there, people who have suffered through the same kind of mistreatment or abuse as we are showcasing in that particular scenario. They're the first ones. But a lot of people saw this and just walked the other way, which reminds us that despite the advances we've made in this country with regard to race relations, there's still a lot of work to be done, and that's why the show is back.
Yeah, it hits such a chord with people.
Yeah. It does. We're really, really proud of it, and I think it just reminds you that, again, that there's a lot of work to be done, but in every one of these scenarios, some hero, in the end, steps in and does the right thing, and it just restores your faith in humanity.
Inspires you, it does.
And I think that's the reason for the success of the show after all these years.
Congratulations on it, John. Back for season 17. What Would You Do premieres Monday at 10 Eastern on ABC. Let's go to Ginger.
Thank you, George. And hi, John. Haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. Can't wait to see What Would You Do. All right, this one is for all the parents and the little ones. You ready? 7 new Bluey minisodes are on the way. You are going to see an exclusive sneak peek of the new episodes featuring Bluey, Bingo, and the whole family. And you'll see them back for some more sweet moments. We can reveal now that the new minisodes have quite a few musical themes, which is perfect since today is Kids Music Day. The new batch of Bluey minisodes begins streaming Monday, October 7th on Disney+. All right, a lot of kids are excited now.
Time now for the right stuff. And this morning, GMA lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamato joins us for a bra breakdown. Hey, bra. Hey, Lori.
You did there.
Let's get right into it, Lori.
Rebecca, we want to do this segment today
also because, you know,
Breast Cancer Awareness.
It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but also women need to be replacing their bras every 6 months. People don't really remember that, so.
Okay, we're not hearing your mic just yet,
Oh,
but I think I see why, because it's behind you. So allow me to help for one moment. This is real.
So what I'm going to say is that women need to replace their bras every 6 months. Also, you mentioned it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so it's a great time to get this to
Absolutely.
America.
It's a
So
great
let's
time
start
to
with
give
Third
some
Love.
thought to this. Okay.
Yes.
Third
so
Love.
this is one of the top sellers. I think everyone can hear me now, right? Can you hear me? Okay. Anyway, this one is great. It comes in half sizes, super innovative. This has nearly 11,000 five-star reviews. And the reason for that is it fits every body. And, you know, women don't really realize that sometimes you're between sizes.
Yes.
So this was super innovative. They're also, if you buy this pink bra, they're donating $1 to breast cancer charities, up to $10,000. So it's a great thing to get involved in. And this one we're saying is great for everyday wear.
Everyday wear.
It's their classic bra. You will not go wrong with that one at all.
Excellent. What do we have
Okay,
here,
next
Lori?
we're here with Spanx. This one is called, ready for this? Braleluja. So what we love about this one is it's super comfortable. It has that front closure snap there. And you know, Spanx is known for that light compression, keeping everything really well supported. And feel the back of this bra,
Oh,
Rebecca.
this is so nice.
So that's actually made of hosiery. And because of that, it's really soft, it's really smooth.
And you're not going to have the marks in the back.
Exactly. And our producer Caroline made a good point. She's like, when you lean back, it's just so comfortable.
Right.
Because there's nothing back there to snap. So these are really great as well. We love Braleluja. Okay, and then we're going to move on to Fuller Figures. So we actually found this one on Amazon, and it has over 50,000 five-star reviews. Women with fuller figures have told us that either they have to sacrifice comfort for support or vice versa. Something's very supportive, but it's also very restrictive. What people love about this one is the comfort factor, and they felt like they got a lift and a lot of support, and the size range here is incredible. It goes up to a band size of 48 and a cup size of H, so you get a lot of variety there, and the best part about this, $25.
$25
So really
on
incredible.
Amazon. Okay.
We have to get to this because
Workout.
everybody was talking about this.
Yes.
So this is actually not, well, you can use it to
You
work out.
don't have to work out in this.
It's everyday or workout, but it's a posture bra. Now you may have heard about this
Yes, I
because
need this.
it went viral when Taylor Swift wore it when she was rehearsing for her Eras tour. So people had a lot of questions. Does it really work? This was actually developed by an orthopedic surgeon, and he made it so that women can have better posture. It was in honor of his mom who was suffering from cancer, and he wanted to help her with her alignment. It's great. If you feel it, you can feel the fibers in here. They're very supportive. They're going to help you keep your shoulders back. And like I said, you can wear it every day. You can wear it for working out. And if you buy their Rose Set, 50% of their proceeds will go to various breast cancer charities as well
50%.
for the next 2 weeks. But this thing is really incredible. Everybody on set, all the women were like, can I try that out? Can I try that out?
They're
It's good
also
enough for
thinking,
Taylor
wait,
Swift.
how's my posture right now?
But it really, I tried one of these on and it really will keep you, really aligned and your shoulders back. I am obsessed with this and I'm a believer.
We believe in you, Lori. What you bring
thanks,
us,
lady.
always so excellent. Thank you. And we've got even more of your bra picks right on our website. And coming up, our Ray of Sunshine surprise at a Brooklyn block party. Stay with us. There will be dancing.
Welcome back, everybody. DeMarco Morgan and our mascot Ray are at a Bensonhurst Brooklyn block party, about to meet our Ray of Sunshine, a local ice cream truck owner who's been serving her community for over 3 decades. Good morning, DeMarco.
Michael, good morning to you, and good morning, America! Woo! Michael, we are so excited to be here in Brooklyn because this is what GMA does. We show love to those who give back to our community, and Maria Campanella has been doing it for decades. Come on out, Maria, real quick. Come on out. Show her some love. Woo! Ray is going to go help her out. Go help her out, Ray. And we're going to learn more about why. Oh, no, he's good. We're going to learn more about why we call her our Ray of Sunshine. Take a look at her story. He's good.
Meet Maria Campanella, otherwise known as Maria the Ice Cream Girl. She's been selling ice cream to kids all around South Brooklyn for more than 35 years.
Here they come. The Oreo. I don't, not today. I have the Oreo cone.
Her truck is a tribute to her beloved dad, Angelo Campanella, the original ice cream man, affectionately known as Chubby.
This is my shrine of my father's.
When I was a little boy, I remember her dad. I remember Chubby. You kidding me? He's like a classic.
And I know she's thinking of her father when she's doing this.
Hey, how are you? Hi.
You're the best customer service.
Friends say Maria's generosity would melt anyone's heart.
A little kid could walk up and say, you know, she sees him not having no ice cream or something like that. She'd be the first one to give him an ice cream.
Every time there's a natural disaster, she's always out there doing her fundraising.
She's always bringing goodies over to the local police precinct or the highway station.
When Sal Marchese was diagnosed with leukemia, Maria sprang to action.
She asked me what she could do to help, and she helped me, you know, with the donations, with the fundraising, and she's the best person that I ever met in my life.
I think she would do this forever and ever and ever, because this was what she was born to do.
That's right, Maria the Ice Cream Girl, you are our ray of sunshine.
Oh, one more time for Maria, everybody! Woo, woo, woo! So why do you do what you do? Why do you give back so much?
Because we're not here for just ourselves. You know, God gives to us, and we have to do for each other down here, you know, till we get up there.
And to get this love back, how do you feel right now?
Oh, forget about it. These people are amazing. You know, I can't believe how much they really care about me.
Well,
It's
we
just
all care
great.
about
And my father, he was the beginning of this all, and
Started
he
this
taught me
8
everything.
years ago, too.
Yeah, everything that I know and everything that I do, it's in honor of him. And, you know, I try to, carry out his legacy and follow his footsteps.
Well, we got two special things for you. The first one, we don't ever want you to forget about us, so slide over.
Oh, yes.
What's this going on your truck? As seen on GMA. Woo! You love that, right?
I approve that.
And we're not done. We're not done. Guess what?
I approve.
Good Humor heard about your story. They love what you're doing, and they're going to give you $10,000. Everybody loves you.
Could I donate it?
Oh, of course, but we want you to use it for good. You're doing so much good for yourself. But any kind words that you want to
use some to donate.
Okay, and then use some for yourself to shop.
Okay.
Any words you want to give to the people, like to encourage them to give back?
Just, make your dreams come true, but at the same time, don't forget about everybody else. Nobody's the best person in the world. I'm not, you're not, but we got to try every day. We got to keep on trying and keep on trying. Every day we got to try to do a lot of little things to be there for other people.
And spread the love.
No matter what it is.
All right, one more time for the Ice Cream Girl, everybody. Woo!
I love you.
We'll send things back to you guys in the studio. Come on, Isidore.
All right, thank you, DeMarco. You know what? But Maria's amazing. She gets the check for $10,000. She said, I'm going to donate it. I mean, how amazing is that? Incredible, incredible human being. And thank DeMarco for bringing that to us and our ray of sunshine as well. Maria, congratulations to you.
And this will continue all through the weekend. Southeast Strong. We are covering those recovery efforts.
That's right. And Rebecca, you're going to be on GMA3 this afternoon.
Oh, yeah. It's a fun Friday.
Yeah. We're looking forward to that, though.
And this weekend on GMA, Gio Benitez is going to be live from the Storm Zone. Ginger, you are heading there as well to bring us all the latest, and we hope everyone has a great one.
Staying with y'all.